Hi, I'm Martin, and let's talk today about DevOps. Recently joined a conference by Rakuten, and I was very lucky that I could experience workshop about DevOps by Dana Pilaeva, and she had great presentation and mainly the workshop. These are slides. I'm gonna go just really quickly through and then show the practical example why you have to use DevOps or have this DevOps culture in your organization. So let's go to just most interesting part. The delivery, time to delivery. It contains so many steps. You have to plan, design, develop, release, evaluate, and everything. But if you have low trust in your organization or to your people, it takes much longer than just this, because you have to check everything, review, rebuild, rework, retest, and more things. So the DevOps is not just technical side. It's not just using containers, Docker, and continuous delivery. It's about people and organization and structure. And that's much more difficult to change than just technology. So really the DevOps is way how to deliver software faster. And faster, I mean much faster than you do it probably right now if you don't have DevOps team. Okay, the workshop it's called Chocolate Lego Scrum something. And it was like whole Scrum process. We did 3 sprints and we have built the product. Product was animal from Lego, and there were certain steps we had to do in order to develop and deliver. So the first sprint was as usually as we know that we get some user story from business side, and we develop, and then at the end of sprint we ship that. The second sprint was a little more improved, and third sprint was the key of that sprint was that DevOps get merged, and there is a huge boost in productivity. I will show you very quickly. Some more diagrams about it. I don't go into detail. The game itself is, I would say, quite complicated if you play for the first time. You have these cards and all these details. So I want to go really simply and briefly. Here. Okay, so we have 3 teams. 1, 2, 3. Okay, first is business. From business, then we go to developers, and from developers we go to operations. And what business does, they prepare user stories. These are these big cards, can be on a Kanban board or somewhere, and every this user story says, like, I want 3 animals, and this user story says I want 8 animals, and this user story says I want just 2 animals, for example. There are specifications, different colors, different type of animals, like cat, snake, and other. I don't go into details so much. So the first sprint, the development team takes the card and start to work on that. So there is straight process how to develop. So the guidance says the first you have to build that animal. So I will build the animal. Let's say this is animal, and then you have to add chocolate to animal. Okay, so we add chocolate to animal, and the third step is to pack it. So we pack it into package, and then it has to be tested. The tester is a member of development team, so he look at the package and everything is okay. And you have probably more developers, so they do something similar parallelly. Okay, and if you have these two animals, you have this user story card. So you take that, tag into big package, and ship to tag into big package and ship to operations. I was developer in development team, and I thought, yeah, good, we have done that. The time limit was just 10 minutes, and it like 8 minutes passed, and we delivered to operations, not to client, to operations. So we developers we are done. But the operations, there is the security guy, and he realized, okay, with this one package there is something wrong. You have to fix that. So they shipped the whole container back to us. It was like, oh my god, we have just 2 minutes. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to open this package big, take this small package. Something was wrong with animal. So take this animal out, build new animal, put into package. Oops, I will do once again. Put into package. Now it's nice. Ask tester to test that. Then put back into big package and ship to operations. And like we was when the package came back from the operations, there was this issue. We was like, all team was sitting and looking at the tester who was testing that package, and we was just few seconds before end, and we couldn't do anything. Like we had to rely on tester. He had a simple process to do. He put into package. Then we moved to operations. We was done. We was out of time, but operations didn't have enough time to deliver to business, to customer. So in first sprint, we delivered zero value. We used the dollars, so $0. Even development team did own work quite well, I would say. The customer doesn't has the product, the business, no value, no product, no value. So the second sprint was little improved. Okay, I will move here to business. So second sprint was improved because the operations team got a little smaller. The security guy from operations team who returned the package in first sprint moved to development team. So development team, there was developer, tester, the security, and also some like Scrum roles, but not so important. So the second time we took the second sprint, we took the car to development, we developed, and we was like almost sure that once we moved to operations it doesn't go back, because the security guy was part of development team. So when we like developed all these animals and chocolate and packages and all these things, we moved to operations, and operations had just enough time to move it to business. And business accepted, we was done, and we was happy. So the second sprint, there was like $450 we shipped, like in the product value of these animals. And like all team was great, we did it in time, you know, we didn't fail. And I was thinking for myself, okay, we have done that, so maybe there's something wrong with this game, because we don't have DevOps yet, but we had delivered the product. So I wasn't sure, like, if there was some mistake or something, you know, we skipped some process or something, because we felt quite successful, from $0 to $450 in one sprint. And then came the third sprint, and the things were a little different, because we took the card from business, but this time before we took the card, we merged. Finally we merged. So development and operations merged. It was one big team. Not only that, the operations told the developers how do they do work, and developers told the operations how to develop the animals and how to do packages and these chocolate things and that. So basically every in team could have at least 3 roles: developer, tester, and operations. So when third sprint started, we took this card, but the difference was that what's the color? This one. No, this one. So we have divided this big user story to just one user story, and every user story had just one animal. So instead of working on this 8 animals, we was working on one animal 8 times, I would say. You know, so you have this 4 animals and another 4 animals. Now, let's say we have 8 people in team, so every person could do all work just by himself. It means build. Oh, sorry, I messed up color of last one. Okay. So every member built the animal, then chocolate, and shipping in the time was different. We used different package. I messed up colors again, sorry. We used different package, so this package didn't need to be put into bigger one as they're read here, so we could directly ship to business. So the one developer can build the animal, put chocolate, put into chocolate, test, do the security check, and then move to business. And all people did like that, and we moved all these user stories done with packages to business. And we had still some time, so we could do even more. We could take another user story and continue on that working. And at the end of the first sprint, the result was just outstanding. So first sprint, we generated like $1,500, I think, or something like that. So it's more than 3 times compared to previous sprint, and that's huge difference, and that just blow my mind. I thought like we have done that like the second sprint, like we are heroes, you know, we don't need DevOps. And then we moved to this DevOps where everybody can take every role, and we divide tasks more, so we ship one by one when it's done, not when all is done. And we increased our productivity so much. So I think this small quick example is enough to convince you that you should at least try to implement DevOps in your company or organization. And it's not about the technology. It's all about people, teams, and this flow of work and this. So I hope you will be successful, and thank you for watching.